What's up, guys? Friendly Neighborhood Geek here doing another figure review. So something slightly new I decided to do was I'm gonna re-review some of my older figures that I reviewed a couple years back when I was a little bit younger, and the quality of my reviews weren't all that great. Of course, now I'm a little bit older, and I know I'm a little bit more advanced when it comes to figure reviews and that type of stuff, and the quality is better on my newer phone. So yeah, so like I said, a lot of figures and Transformers. That I reviewed in the past, I will be doing re-reviews of. Unfortunately, for characters who I no longer have in my collection, some of those videos, again, are kind of hard to watch, when I rewatch some of my older videos. So I might just keep those up because I don't have those figures in my collection, and some of those figures are like figures that never really got a review. No one ever really reviewed them anyway, outside of myself. So like I said, those reviews I may just keep up, but the ones that I'm going to re-review, I'll probably delete those once I, re-review the figure, delete the old review. Anyway, with all that out of the way, we are looking at Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Impactor. Wait a minute, he's not in the box. Yes, I decided to pull out Impactor's box so I could show it in the review. This came out, I think, like 2019, I want to say. Really solid box. 14 steps. I like the artwork. Um, yeah, I got a few War for Cybertron trilogy characters, like a handful. Um, but yeah. But yeah, the box is really nice. I think I remember the day I got them. I got them at like a Walmart or Target or something with a group of friends when I lived in Ohio for a year. But yeah, the box is nice. Now, excuse me, on to the figure. Um, it's kind of dusty. Yeah, he's cool. I dig this tank mode. I like the little piece, this extra piece on the top. Um, this piece does rotate, so yeah, you can get him, the turret piece to rotate and get this piece to move up and down, um, which is really nice. Comes with the harpoon, which is a hard. Him having a harpoon is like a key element of his character, like a signature weapon of his, kind of like how in the Bayverse Transformer movies, Optimus had the energon blades that were like kind of the mainstay, his mainstay weapons. So the same kind of goes for Impactor. I like, of course, at the time they were kind of doing like battle damage, so you see like this detail on the turret pieces, which is really nice. I'm glad it hasn't like peeled off or anything like that since I've had him. He was in storage for like a couple of years after I got him anyway, so yeah. Like I said, just the detail on him. I like these little pieces. He looks like he's built for combat. He's built for war. Um, so one reason why I picked this figure up in the first place, well, I was a fan of the character. I've read a little bit about him. He is a very interesting character, but to my knowledge, this is like the first official action figure of him. Well, no, I take that back. There have been third parties, but I did say official. So there have been third party figures of him, which could be hit or miss, or can go from multiple prices. And there was a um, combiner piece. There was a combiner figure. So the Fall of Cybertron Combaticon mold, which I've reviewed. I guess I will show that real quick. Um, let's see. So the character, the centerpiece, Onslaught, he was remolded into an impactor, and the wreckers, because not to be all over the place, Impactor was a leader of the wrecker Autobot wrecker crew team unit, whatever you want to call them. In the comics, that's kind of like one of the main things he's known for. Well, Hasbro had made a combiner based off, the Combaticon mold, and they made Impactor. They used this Onslaught mold and made him into Impactor. and the records combined into Ruination, which I've wanted for years. I still might get that figure. Um, but yeah, so that's what they did. So that mold was the first, I think, official Impactor figure to my knowledge. This figure, of course, is just more comic book accurate, more character accurate, and it's a more solid representation of the character. Um, and so I like I said, I dig him a lot. He's really cool. So yeah, but since this mold has came out, they have released multiple uh, versions of Impactor, like a version with slightly different colors and a more comic accurate head and stuff like that. He's been in 2 packs, and there's a version of him with a Decepticon. I think Decepticon insignia on him. Yeah, so stuff like that. I always kind of consider him like I guess I'll go ahead and transform him. Transformation isn't too difficult. When I transformed him into his tank mode, I did have to, I think, look at like the steps on how to do it because I hadn't done it in so long. But we removed the weapon piece, and you see the harpoon a little bit more, which uh, looks really cool. I dig it. But like I said, I kind of consider him a this piece is separate as well. His gun piece, like an obscure kind of character because he's well known in like the comics and stuff like that, but he's never gotten an official figure, and I always thought his design was cool enough where he could have got a figure. So I'm just happy that he finally got a toy. Like I said, transformation isn't really difficult once you know what you're doing. You see me pulling the legs down wasn't too much of a hassle. There we go. They pull the arms down, pull the legs down. Let's see. Let's see. Now, one thing I don't like, the legs don't really. I don't think the legs are all that secure. Let's see. Lastly, we pull the head up. Be a bit of a chore. And we pull this back, and we have Impactor, I believe. Yeah, I think that's all his steps. Yeah, all his steps. So again, when he came out, I think he's really solid. I really dig him. Like I said, the detail on him, sculpt, everything is really cool, really charming figure. Um, like I love the head sculpt, and I love like the head crest. Like it kind of has like a Spartan or I guess Trojan soldier kind of helmet look, I guess. And that's really cool. Like I said, I really like that detail about him. I think I remember reading he was kind of a butthole in the comics, which is really unfortunate. Um, but I still like his character. He's still one of my favorite characters. Like I said, I put him, Slipstream, who's another character who desperately needs a new figure. DevCon, who is getting a new figure in the new Legacy Evolution line, which is wonderful. Another character I can't wait to buy and review when we actually see images of him. So like I said, DevCon, Impactor, Slipstream. I'm sure there's a handful of other characters too I could probably add to the list, but those are only like the top 3 I can think of when I kind of think of like obscure characters or popular characters who barely have any or none at all figures. So I'm very glad Hasbro made him. So yeah, let's see. So you pull the hand back. You see me like I did. You pull the hand back and you plug in his harpoon, which is really cool. Really nice detail. So that's cool. I don't think this fires. I don't think it's supposed to, even though it's shaped like a gun. But again, it's still a cool detail. I love that. Like so like a Captain Ahab from Moby Dick kind of look going on. Um and then the gun just plugs. So the gun just plugs in like that. So again, very solid figure. Like I said, transformation isn't too difficult. He's fun. I love the colors on him. I just feel like if you had him, he would just kind of pop on a shelf. And again, I think, yeah, he is one of my favorite figures in my collection, just for the sheer fact of his obscurity and the fact that, like I said, this is like the best official figure of him. Um, and yeah, like I said, Hasbro did a good job. Real quick, I will show him with one of his Wrecker brethren, um, Transformers Prime Wheeljack with the third party Dr. Wu unmasked head, and they look good together. I think he's a couple inches taller. And here is him next to someone he probably would look more accurate with. The was it Transformers Generations IDW Springer with the Takara colors. I can't remember. I think I reviewed this guy a couple of years ago. He may also get another review as well. I have to go back and look in my video archive. But they look good together. And of course, this Springer is kind of lanky and he's tall, and I really like that aspect. So he is taller than Impactor. Um, so yeah, that's really cool. So I have more than one Wrecker in my collection. Like I said, not sideswipe. Impactor, Springer, Wheeljack. I think Cup was a member of the Wreckers. I have to Google who are all the Wrecker members because I might have others I didn't know who were members of the Wreckers at the time. Um, but yeah, do I recommend this figure? Absolutely. If you find him cool, if you never picked him up, definitely go get him. Like I said, there's been a handful of versions, re-releases of this character since this figure came out. But like I said, I think he's worth it. He's a very solid, charming toy. I think he would be fun to pose and mess around with, especially with that harpoon weapon. Um, like I said, just kind of like the military warrior. I guess kind of ancient warrior kind of look he has going on, like so with the helmet and that type of stuff. So yeah, like I said, very solid figure. Like I said, he's very fun to pose around. Um, yeah, like I said, highly recommend him. Very cool. Um, if you were wondering, I think I showed in my Blitzwing review. Blitzwing is much bigger. Well, Blitzwing's a leader class figure, so he's much bigger than Impactor in his tank mode, in case you were wondering. Um, so next review. I said there were two figures I wanted to buy. Um, one of them is another movie toy from Transformers Age of Extinction. And the other one is a very iconic video game character who I have multiple figures of. But they just released, the company Jack Pacific just released a new wave of Nintendo figures that I didn't even know about until I saw someone do a video on it. So I'm definitely gonna try to get that at some point. But yeah, and next review will probably again be another re-review. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Uh, peace, you guys.